Welcome to My Story series. We're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Wendy Williams. As I look back on my days as a frontline worker, spending countless hours and time away from my husband and my family, I realized I was not in a good space until I discovered that I could create my own schedule, allowing me more freedom and flexibility to build a jewelry empire from the comfort of my own home. If you are someone who loves taking selfies, dressing fly, and wearing jewelry, then my team and I would love to have a cash conversation with you. Text the word select me to 501 200 3076. Create my own schedule.
Hi, I'm Theodora, better known as Teddy Johnson, and in 2020, I started We Write for You, a service to assist high school and college students with writing award-winning scholarship essays. We also write press releases and provide editing services for authors and ghostwriters. If you need assistance writing an essay, help edit a novel, or to get just the right words for your press release, then you need We Write for You. We have over 30 years experience teaching English and journalism. Our information is on the screen, and when you call, we write for you.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when and where you're going to be watching this live stream or catching the hashtag replay of this live stream. I'm your host, Kevin Williams with Arkansas Black Businesses, and welcome to My Story series. My Story is brought to you by Glamorous Designs. Today we have in the virtual building an educated and educatorpreneur. Please welcome Teddy Johnson with We Write for You service. Teddy, how are you today, Queen? I'm gonna ask that question again. Ted, I had you muted. How are you today, my queen?
I am amazing, Kevin, and thank you for having me here today.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Teddy, this show is called My Story. And so we want to know the story behind you becoming an educator. So we are all eyes, we are all ears. So kind of take us on that journey on how you got involved in becoming an educator.
Well, Kevin, the reason I'm here, what led me on this journey was when I was younger, I went to town with my grandmother, and she had to take care of some business at one of the stores where she did business with. And when she signed her bill, I noticed that she used an X. And I said, well, Mama, why do you use an X? Don't you sign your name? She's like, that's how I sign my name, with an X. And so as we walked home and we started talking about it, and she told me about how she had never had an opportunity to go to school. The one school that was in the area where she lived was burned to the ground. And because she was one of the older kids over 13, that school was just not an option. So she never learned to read and she never learned to write. And I said, well, Mama, I'm going to teach you how to read. You need to know how to read. And so that's what really started me on this adventure, because I didn't like it. And I just said, I don't want anybody to be out here and not be able to read or write. That's just not right.
Wow. And so Teddy, here recently you started a company and it's called We Write for You. Tell us, what was the inspiration behind that?
Well, one, as I tell people, I'm retired but not expired. And I still have this burning desire to help students and help people with their writing abilities. Um, but mainly with the students, because there is such a fear about writing. Is a big challenge for them to be able to put their words on paper and to express themselves. And so I said, well, this will be good. This is something I can do. And then I had an opportunity to edit um, an article that I had written for a book that I'm working on with a team. And I said, well, shoot, this is something that I could do to help a lot of people to really perfect their craft when they're writing and help with some of the avenues that are presenting themselves as challenges. So here we have We Write for You, this retired but not expired teacher, still looking for stuff to do.
So, Teddy, were there any teachers that had a strong influence over you when it came to writing? And if so, kind of tell us about that.
There were two teachers. Miss Linda Denman Scarborough. She was my teacher, seventh, eighth, and ninth grade down at Rising High School. We would write, and she was a grammarian. She was one that would make sure we had all the correct grammar. She would make sure that our spelling was correct. She would work us on sentence structure because it had to be done correctly, period. And to not do it the right, we didn't do it correctly the first time, then it was going to be redone. That was just it. So she was one of the first that ignited that writing. And then the next teacher, Miss Helen Hobson, I had her for 10th, 11th, and 12th grade English. Mrs. Hobson was one where if you wrote a paper, if you had one sentence fragment, it was automatically an F. And you had the option where you could take the F or you could rewrite it. Well, F's did not go over real well in my house with my mom and dad, so we would rewrite paper. And so she saw where I had, a little bit of talent for the writing. So, in fact, she came and got me when I was in ninth grade and asked me to be on the newspaper staff to write articles for the newspaper. And that really ignited my love for writing. So I would say she is one of the more responsible ones for igniting this bonfire and making me want to be the writer that I am now and the teacher that I am as a writing teacher, because I carried a lot of her philosophies into my classroom that we're going to work this out and you are going to write and you're going to write correctly, period. So I still,
Teddy, you know what's interesting? I want to share a statement, and then I want to ask you a question. Um, in today's world, just even as I look on social media, we got incorrect grammar. We have uh, words that don't it is spelled different. You understand what they're saying, but but it's not in the English language.
mhm.
So my question to you is: has teaching changed from when you were going to school to where we are today? Talk to us about that.
I would say very much so, but not just the teaching, but I call it text versations, not conversations, but text versations. And even with that, the students now want to write as they text. They want to use abbreviations, B/C and that sort of stuff. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Uh-uh. We don't do that. For every one of those that you have, I'm knocking 5 points off your grade. So deal with it. And then for one thing, grammar doesn't take center stage the way it used to. There was a time when we had to learn usage, the correct word to use. When you get into homophones, those words that sound the same but they're spelled differently, that's an obstacle. But the ones that really um, make the hair on the back of my neck stand up is when I'll see the theirs mixed up. You've got THERE, THEIR, and THEY''RE. Those three, and then the your and you are apostrophe RE. If you are saying you are, then it's YOU apostrophe RE because you're abbreviating those two words into one. If you're talking about your, then that's a personal pronoun that you're using to indicate that something belongs to another person. And the same thing with the theirs. THEY apostrophe RE is short for they are. Okay. THEIR again is a pronoun indicating that it belongs to a group of people. And THERE indicates a place or a location. We're going over there. Okay. So those really get under my skin when I see that. And I want to go in and correct it. And I said, well, no, we won't be petty Teddy. Um, we just go on and we just let people know this is not done correctly. I don't want to be the grammar Nazi. But yeah, those text versations are really ruining it for us because students want to write the way they text and they text the way they talk, and they don't always talk correctly. So that gets to be an issue as well. Because even when I would want the students to learn how to even speak correctly, Miss Johnson, you just want us to talk white because you talk white. No, I do not talk white. I've been all over this country and people don't speak the same everywhere, but there is a benchmark English which you hear on the news, and that's probably what you're talking about. But the main thing is I want you to learn cash language because your writing is your representative. What you write represents you.
Mm.
Want people to see you.
Teddy, you know what? That's a good that should be a Facebook post. You said your writing is your representation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Your writing.
you need to post it on Facebook when we get done with this interview. That's deep. You,
I heard that from a teacher. She's not deceased, but she had been a teacher when they had all black schools,
hmm
and that was what she would tell those students, that your writing is your representative. So how you write is how you show yourself. So and that's what I would tell the students. How you write is letting you know what you think about yourself.
hmm.
From your handwriting to what your hand has written. It tells
Mm.
you.
Mm.
Yeah.
Teddy, why do you have such a huge focus in your business on essay scholarship? Why so much concentration in that area?
But for one, that's a major challenge area for our students. Either they have not had the background where they had to do a lot of writing up until they get to 10th, 11th, 12th grade. And so they really back away from it. Even though when they take the ACT test and they have the option of doing the writing portion, which can give them additional points, they choose not to do it because it's a challenge. I don't want to have to do all that. And I'm like, but it could get you some extra points, which can get you some extra money. Come on now, 24, 27, 30. That's your money scores. So you mean you would rather sit out on the money than to write that paragraph? Really? So there again, not just with that writing portion of the ACT, but also when it comes to scholarship essays, that's a whole nother dynamic. But what really um, lit that up for me was when my niece sent me a copy of her scholarship essay when she was trying to go to dental school, and she wanted me to read it over and give her my thoughts. And okay, sweetie, your aunt is extremely blunt and honest. I'm just going to tell you what's what. This is going in the left stack. The scholarship committee is not going to even acknowledge that one. So we're going to work on this so we can get the money phrases up here at the top where you can be noticed, and where they'll go ahead and finish the rest of it and get you the money. And so having worked with her on that and seeing her success, because not only did she get in dental school, but she is now a dentist, Dr. Tanisha Hall, DDS. So that really, really inspired me to want to reach out and help more students. Just being able to work with her on that project and seeing how,
Mm.
because it's
Okay.
hard. I want students to just, it's not that hard, but they just back away from it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't do it. You know, it's crazy.
Hmm.
But a lot of it is lack of preparation.
Right. Right. Which um which leads me to this question, Teddy. Uh, Recently, I made a post on Facebook, and the post was about uh, the reason students don't do essay on the or scholarship essays for applying for a scholarship application with having them write an essay. I said because they're lazy, and you know, well, first of all, I don't have a problem embracing controversy. I don't. So, but there was some agreements, there was some disagreements, but you as an educator, because you have been in the trenches. We a lot of times we on the outside looking in, but you've been in the trenches. Do you agree or disagree with that post that I made about uh, majority of the students are just too lazy to write an essay? Talk to us about that.
Okay. To some point, I agree, and more paper, and in more spots, I disagree, um, because lazy maybe would capture about 1 or 2% of those students that I just don't want to be bothered with it. But for the other students, I don't know if it's so much being lazy or just being scared. It's the unknown. I don't quite know what they want me to do. I've done the application portion, but why do I have to do this as well? And a lot of it is that because they don't understand that that application portion, that's just data, your name, the day you were born, your social security, the address, uh, that you want to go to their school, what you're going to major in, this and that. That's data, that's information. But that essay is the portion that's going to let them into your mind to see how you think, to see if you are the caliber of student that they want to admit into their school. And so once students understand the whys, that takes away a lot of the fears and opens it up to where they will at least explore trying to do it because they just want to know about me. Um, they've got different types of essays that they'll be writing. Some will deal with issues, current issues that are going on. Some will just be autobiographies. And one of the hardest things to write is to write about yourself. How am I going to talk about myself without sounding braggadocious? How am I going to write about myself to make myself look so good and this and that? But, what I've taught kids is that every day you market yourself. The way you talk, the way you carry yourself, the way you dress, even that you're marketing yourself. You're letting people know that this is what makes you. So the same thing with that paper. When you write your autobiography, you want to talk about your strengths. It's okay to admit a few of your weaknesses, talk about some of the obstacles, but focus mostly on the strengths. Because at the end of the day, you want them to pull your application and say, yes, this person will get the money. And that's what the whole thing is. So, at least being able to put that effort. And that's what they want to see. Are you willing to make the effort? Because I tell kids all the time, once you go across that stage and get that diploma, you are now considered a product. And products are gauged on whether they're going to be an asset or a liability. And so you have to determine whether you're going to be the asset that that school wants on their campus to get the degree that you're wanting to get. So, once you view it that way, and then once you
Hmm.
the strategies and the skills, and that's what this workshop, that's the things that I want to talk about when I work with these students. Once you understand the skills and the strategies, then that's going to erase all that fear. And you'll be in a place to where, the students will be in a place to where they're ready to go about it. But like I said, for some of them, it is laziness. But for others, it's simply the fear and the not knowing.
Okay. Now you mentioned a workshop, and you are hosting a workshop on September the 12th. I think that's Saturday, September the 12th,
Mhm.
on how to write a successful scholarship essay. So, Teddy, what do you hope to gain, or what do you hope the class will, uh, or what is it you hope the class would do for the students who participate in this webinar?
But the main objective, as I said already, the main objective is to take the fear of writing out of it. The main objective is that I want them to be able to approach the essay prompts with confidence because they will know how to address those prompts and what they'll need to answer from those prompts. they will be able to map out and organize that essay in a way that it will hold the committee's attention, because they have to remember, first of all, what's your purpose and who's your audience? The purpose is to get the scholarship money. The audience is going to be the scholarship committee. These are the people that are sitting there holding the bag, determining whether you're going to be worthy of getting the money or not. So once you understand your audience, once you understand the purpose, then now you can go about the task. And so once you understand that and you get the nuts and bolts of how to put it together, it's just like those instruction things that you get when you buy a bookcase in the box and you have to put it together. It's the same process. Once you get the nuts and bolts of the strategies and the skills, then that's going to take all the fear out of it and put the confidence in the students that they're going to need to go about putting those essays together.
Now, Teddy, you're also doing something that's really interesting, and it's obviously you really want to see students, get this money that's always out there every year, because fact be known, $1.3 million is goes right back to these different foundations, because there's just not enough kids writing for these scholarships. So you're also doing something else to give the students an opportunity to be in your upcoming workshop. So talk to us about that. What is that you're offering, or what is that you're doing?
Yes, Kevin. I'm glad you brought that up. For We Write for You, our Show Me the Money workshop, because we want that $1.3 million. The Write for You is now running a contest from now until August 31st to give 3 students a chance to win our upcoming scholarship essay workshop. The contest is simple. All you're going to do is text the word "We Write for You" to this number, to 501-200-3076.
Well,
Then
now it's right for me. It's right for me, correct? You said we write for you. It's right for me.
it is right for me.
Okay.
I had a Medicare moment. And you write it to that number, 501-200-3076.
Okay.
And then on August 31st, we will randomly select 3 telephone numbers as our winners. So there again is another opportunity to show you the money.
Okay. So I want to do a quick recap. So you got an upcoming workshop on September 12th. Right. And you have an early bird registration of only $27, which that to me is, like ridiculously affordable. I mean, I've seen workshops like this, Teddy, where it's either $197 or $297, and then even after the early bird, the price goes up to $47. So it's saying, and you run a contest to give 3 students an opportunity to be a part of the training at absolutely no cost. So the only reason a parent would not allow their student to be a part of this workshop is that they just don't care about scholarship money, because the price point for your upcoming workshop is very affordable. I mean, let's just face it, Teddy. We're going to spend $20-some just at Chick-fil-A, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, so we know that that your workshop is very affordable. So for someone who doesn't want is not allowing their child to be a part of your workshop, it's not because of the money. It's because and you know me, I'm controversial. I'm controversial. Is that because they don't care about it? It has to be because they have no caring about getting scholarship money to advance them into college. So, because the goal is when our kids go to college is for them to have a zero balance, right? From all the different scholarships. Teddy, do you know that this has been 2 years ago, I believe, or 3 years ago. My niece graduated from Maumelle High School, and because she's going to Fayetteville now as a junior, so I think it was 2 years ago, could be 3 years ago. But anyway, one of her classmates, Teddy, Do you know she was awarded over $100,000 in scholarship money?
Wow.
She went to the University of Drake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Drake University.
Right. I mean,
So
I've seen.
so we can't say that there is no money out there. It's because we're not doing our part to be connected with someone like you that's going to teach our kids how to be what I call creative writers to get this money, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
I've seen a student walk off the stage with 500,000, half a million,
Mm.
one student
Wow.
scholarship.
So Teddy, besides the scholarship writing, what other services uh, does your company provide?
Well, I provide editing and proofreading of articles and um, book chapters and that sort of thing. I do that. I offer those services for when people write books and what have you. I've done some of that already. And then I do press releases. So if someone has an event coming up and they want to get the news out, I do press releases to where I can get the information to the different press avenues. Um, that's pretty much the bulk of what I do. And then, of course, the scholarship essay writing. And I do tutoring. So if parents see where their students need a little help with writing or with English language arts, period, then I am open to writing tutoring for parents.
Okay. Okay. Teddy, as we close out, I always like to give the final uh, word to our guests on the show. So, is there any words of wisdom you want to give the viewers before we close out?
Well, just basically that there's no such thing as too much education. There is never too much. I am what is called a lifelong learner. Every day I get up and look for something that I can learn how to do, especially with technology, or to upgrade my writing skills because I write as well. Um, I do short stories and I'm working on a novel and I write poetry and song lyrics. But at the same time, I'm always exploring ways that I can even do better with that sort of thing. And I go to webinars and I was paid a substantial amount of money to do that. But at the end of the day, y'all, there is no such thing as too much education. There is no such thing as the final rough draft. There's always room to improve ourselves. And that's it.
Well said, Teddy. Teddy, as always, you're always welcome back to our show. Again, this has been another My Story series. I'm your host, Kevin Williams, and we look forward to bringing out another My Story. Some entrepreneur, some business owner out there, the world needs to hear your story. Goodbye for now.
All right. And thank you,